Good evening. First up, we're tracking a significant development tonight. Gardaí are now treating the disappearance of Fiona Pender as a murder investigation. Miss Pender, who was 7 months pregnant, vanished from Tullamore, County Offaly, in 1996. Investigators believe she was murdered, and her remains deliberately concealed. A new search operation, the third major search in almost 30 years, has commenced near Killy in County Offaly. And in a separate development, human remains discovered on a farm in County Kerry have been identified as those of Michael Gain. Mr. Gain, a 56-year-old sheep farmer, was reported missing in mid-May. The discovery was made during routine farm work. Gardaí are continuing to investigate the circumstances of his death, with ongoing searches at the site. Now, in another justice development, 2 teenagers involved in a fatal gangland incident at a Dublin restaurant have been sentenced to 9 years in prison. This violent clash has led to renewed concerns about youth involvement in organized crime. Moving to County Louth, where an elderly woman in her 80s has died after being struck by a bus on Lower Main Street in Dunleer. The collision occurred shortly after midday. Gardaí are appealing for witnesses to come forward. And meanwhile, in Dublin's Cherry Orchard area, residents have expressed ongoing fears due to antisocial behavior and intimidation. Local authorities have acknowledged 11 vacant council houses in the community, while concerns persist about inadequate housing provision and its impact on residents' safety. Turning now to finance, Allied Irish Banks is preparing to sell a portfolio of non-performing loans valued at approximately €500 million. These loans primarily consist of mortgages and small business debts that deteriorated during the COVID-19 pandemic. This action is part of AIB's strategy to strengthen its financial position. In its latest report, AIB also highlighted potential risks to Ireland's economic growth, citing rising global trade tariffs and a possible decrease in foreign direct investment. While the bank forecasts 2.3% growth in domestic demand this year, these external factors could affect the economy's short and medium-term performance. On a more positive note for businesses, however, DHL Ireland reported a 13% increase in pre-tax profits, reaching €9.48 million. Cisco Foods Ireland, though, experienced an 18% decline in pre-tax profits. Irish small and medium enterprises attracted significant venture capital funding in the first quarter of 2025, totaling €533 million, reflecting strong overseas investor confidence in Ireland's technology sector. Additionally, the Cork-based insurtech firm Cana has announced plans to create 13 new high-skilled jobs over the next 2 years as it expands into the UK and US insurance markets. Limerick-based smart grid company Veotas has secured €10 million in funding to expand its demand response services globally, encouraging large energy users to help balance the electricity grid. On the economic front, consumer confidence has shown improvement, with the Irish Credit Union Consumer Sentiment Index rising to 60.8 in May from 58.7 in April. This marks the first increase in 4 months. However, Boots Ireland has admitted to breaching sales pricing laws during its 2023 Black Friday promotions by using misleading discounting practices. The Irish government, too, has released a report from the Economics Division of the Department of Finance, highlighting the challenges an aging population poses to public finances and emphasizing the need for policy adjustments. In foreign policy this hour, Ireland is proposing legislation to ban trade with Israeli enterprises operating in the occupied West Bank. This move, which would make Ireland the first European country to enact such a law, reflects its stance on international law and human rights. It has drawn both praise from human rights advocates and criticism from supporters of Israel. Now, shifting focus to domestic politics, mixed martial artist Conor McGregor has announced his intention to run for the Irish presidency in the upcoming November election. This declaration has generated significant public discussion. Opposition parties, including Sinn Féin, the Social Democrats, Labour, and People Before Profit Solidarity, have united to criticize the government's approach to housing. They've vowed to resist any attempts to ease rent caps, with Owen O'Brien of Sinn Féin describing the government as failing citizens on critical issues such as housing, childcare, education, and healthcare. These parties plan a protest outside Leinster House on June 17th as part of the Raise the Roof campaign, coinciding with a private member's motion on the housing crisis. The campaign, which is supported by trade unions and civil society groups, advocates for stronger tenant protections in rent-pressure zones and aims to pressure the government against rolling back rent controls. Internationally now, U.S. President Donald Trump has delayed the implementation of a 50% tariff on goods from the European Union, originally set for June 1st, until July 9th. Taoiseach Simon Harris welcomed this decision, stressing the importance of using the extension for negotiations to protect jobs and investment. The delay followed a phone call between President Trump and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, and led, in turn, to a rally in global markets. And coming up this week, Swiss President Karin Keller-Sutter is set to visit Ireland, the first such visit by a Swiss president since 2012. Her agenda includes high-level discussions with Irish leaders, including President Michael D. Higgins and Taoiseach Micheál Martin, focusing on bilateral relations, European policy, and international issues, particularly amid recent U.S. policies impacting the pharmaceutical industry. President Keller-Sutter, who is also Switzerland's finance minister, will participate in the opening of a historical exhibition at Ireland's National Museum, highlighting relations between Ireland and St. Gallen. Here at home, Ireland's healthcare system is facing scrutiny over prolonged delays in scoliosis surgeries for children. Cases such as 17-year-old Mikey Henry Benson from County Mayo, whose surgery for a spinal curvature exceeding 100 degrees has been repeatedly postponed, and 14-year-old Daniel Collins from Tralee, who now requires 2 operations for an 80-degree curve, highlight the issue. Families are petitioning the government to address the backlog affecting over 106,000 children on hospital waiting lists. And in a related health development, an internal investigation at Children's Health Ireland uncovered serious malpractice by a consultant who manipulated the waiting list system, delaying vital surgeries for children by up to 3 years. The consultant referred publicly seen patients to private weekend clinics he operated, funded by the National Treatment Purchase Fund, and prioritized patients based on ease of treatment rather than clinical urgency. This affected 179 patients, 50 of whom required surgeries that should have been performed earlier. The investigation also noted potential negligence and financial irregularities. Health Minister Jennifer Carroll McNeil has tasked the National Patient Safety Office to engage with Children's Health Ireland, which states that service improvements are ongoing. Speaking of health, the completion of the new National Children's Hospital in Dublin, it's faced its 15th delay and is now not expected to treat patients until at least June 2026, with projected costs at €2.24 billion. In health policy, the transgender advocacy group Transgress the NGS organized a protest in Dublin on May 22nd, calling for improved trans healthcare services. The demonstration coincided with the 10th anniversary of the marriage equality referendum and highlighted ongoing concerns about the lack of progress in trans healthcare. In scientific advancements this hour, researchers at the University of Galway have developed a roadmap for Ireland to join the European Biobanking and Biomolecular Resources research infrastructure. This aims to enhance access to European biobanks for collaborative research into diseases like cancer and neurodegenerative disorders. Health Innovation Hub Ireland has launched a new call, the HII.AI Call 2025, for applicants to solve recognized challenges in Irish healthcare using artificial intelligence. This national program offers innovators the chance to test or evaluate their AI technologies in real-world clinical environments. The Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland recently hosted the 2025 Cancer Conference, focusing on transforming cancer care through innovation and ensuring equitable access to the latest treatments. Minister of State Niamh Smythe is attending Asia Tech X Singapore 2025, showcasing Ireland's commitment to digital and innovation priorities such as artificial intelligence and digital trust. Simultaneously, Ireland's Consul General in San Francisco, Micheál Smith, addressed global technology experts at the ACON Silicon Valley Conference at Stanford University, highlighting Ireland's role in shaping the future of AI. And there's good news for young scientists, as Stripe has been confirmed as the new title sponsor for the Young Scientist and Technology Exhibition, taking over from BT Ireland after 25 years. This 5-year sponsorship is notable as Stripe co-founder Patrick Collison previously won the competition. Meanwhile, Atlantic Technological University has secured €8.46 million in funding to launch the Semiconductor Photonics Education and Research Center. Supported by the Peace Plus program, this initiative aims to stimulate economic growth and innovation in the cross-border Northwest region. The Dublin Tech Summit 2025 is scheduled for May 28th and 29th at the RDS Dublin, offering insights into AI, deep tech, and quantum computing. The Athlone Tech Festival 2025 is also underway in the west of Ireland, focusing on AI and cybersecurity, with a conference at the University of Galway on May 29th. And finally, in industry developments, Irish technology platform Celtanin has won a contract with the European Space Agency to develop advanced semiconductor hardware for next-generation satellite missions, marking a significant step for Ireland's space technology sector. And now for a brief look at some of the day's other news. Armagh GAA star Jarlath Burns, son of GAA President Jarlath Burns, has announced his engagement to Tara Donaghy. RTE star Arthur Garunian's vibrant outfit during a podcast recording with celebrity chef Donal Skehan led to playful banter between them. At the Lord Mayor's Awards in Dublin's Mansion House, accolades were presented to drag star Rasidat Adeleke, rugby legend Johnny Sexton, and actor Brendan Gleeson. Actors Brian Murray and Una Crawford O'Brien were also honored for raising dementia awareness. Irish footballer Louise Quinn spoke about her emotional experience watching former teammate Katie McCabe lead Arsenal to a Champions League victory, and reflected on her own planned retirement from international football. Ireland AM presenter Alan Hughes discussed his recent health scare involving diverticulitis, confirming he received reassuring news after medical procedures. He and his husband, Carl Broderick, also announced their upcoming production of Cinderella at the National Stadium. As Joe Duffy prepares to step down from RTE Radio 1's Liveline after more than 25 years, speculation about his successor is growing, with Today host Daithi Osei considered a frontrunner. Irish sprinter Charlene Maudsley and her boyfriend, Tipperary GAA star Michael Breen, shared a photo from a rare day together in their home county. And turning to sport now, the West Indies defeated Ireland by 197 runs in the third one-day international at Clontarf, resulting in a 1-1 series draw. Kesey Carty of the West Indies scored 170 runs. Ireland set a revised target of 363 runs from 46 overs after a rain delay, were dismissed for 165 runs. Mayo's senior football manager, Kevin McStay, has temporarily stepped down due to personal health reasons following a medical incident. Assistant manager Stephen Rochford will take over for the remainder of the season. Mayo GAA chairman Seamus Tuvey extended well wishes to Mr. McStay and endorsed Mr. Rochford. This comes as Mayo faces performance challenges, but Mr. McStay remains optimistic about the team's ability to respond strongly. In hurling, Cork have advanced to their first Munster Senior Hurling Championship final since 2018 after defeating Waterford by 2 goals and 25 points to 1 goal and 22 points. Key goals from Brian Hayes and Patrick Horgan secured the win for Cork, who will now face reigning champions Limerick in the final. Waterford manager Peter Queally praised his team's effort but criticized some refereeing decisions. And that brings us to the end of our bulletin for now. Thanks for joining us.